She is Megan. We're two of the sea lion keepers here at the park. However, we're human. We know you're not that interested in us. There's a sea lion bouncing about in the water. And hopefully today we're going to introduce you to all of the sea lions that live here with us at the park. Now the very first one bouncing around, well, his name is Bounty. He's named after the chocolate bar and probably contains just about as much sugar. Now, for parts of this show, we are going to be training the sea lions up close to the glass. All we do ask while the sea lions are out is that you try your hardest to keep yourselves and your little ones back from the glass and in their seats, just so the sea lions don't get distracted. Megan's also going to be walking the sea lions right around the front of the theatre. We want her not to be bumping into too many people, as she will get fired if she starts kicking the guests. Now, first thing we've got to do is say hi to Bounty. Now, you're never too old or too cool to wave at a sea lion, so everyone pick up your hands, give Bounty a wave to say hello, and he'll say hi back. Now, with a bit of help from Bounty today, we're going to try and answer some questions about him. And the first thing we are going to clear up sounds really, really silly, but it is, what kind of animal are you looking at? Now, you're at a sea lion show in the Sea Lion Theatre looking at a sea lion. You would think it's fairly self-explanatory, but you would not believe how many fully grown adults come to our sea lion show and get the animal wrong. And Bounty, I am going to say what they all call you, and this is going to hurt your feelings, my friend, okay? Now, it's a horrible word. Begins with an S. People think you're a seal. Now don't worry if you personally have called him a seal. We honestly hear that one every single day. I've worked here a long time. I've also heard adults calling Bounty a dolphin, a whale, an otter, a penguin. He can tuck all four flippers underneath his body. On land, he can run faster than any of us, he can jump, and he can climb. There's only one way to get back in though, so we'll give him a cheer if he manages. Now, seals will also come onto land. They're just not particularly graceful when they come up, and that is because their hip joint is fixed in place, so they cannot tuck their back flippers underneath their body. But you can make your own judgment on that. So this is how a seal has to move. Beautiful. Now that difference is fairly obvious if the animals are up on land moving around, but chances are what you're going to see is just their heads poking out of the water when you're on your private yachts off the coast of Tenerife. I don't know how much money you've got, but all you're going to be looking for, if you can see their head, is if they've got earlobes or not. Either side of Bounty's sea lion head, he's got small but very cute ears. They kind of stick out a little bit like Shrek ears. But they'll show you he's a sea lion because seals do not have earlobes. Now they do have ears, but all that you see to the size of your average adult's hand. So if, now we're going to go for the other side. If he hits it, we'll all give him a massive cheer. Here he goes. Now I don't know if you have all studied for a pop quiz, but we're going to... Someone said seagull and they're getting fed to the real lions, but everyone else did a very, very good job. Well done. Now Bounty, thank you so much for helping us out today. We are going to let you go off and you can have yourself your dinner. I worked hard today, but everyone give Bounty one last cheer to say well done. Now Bounty is our youngest sea lion. He's currently 15 years old. Now that does make him a fully grown adult. He is sadly not going to get any more mature than he currently is, but Bounty behaves a little bit like your average toddler. He wakes up at the crack of dawn, he screams his head off as loud as he possibly can. His fill with Bounty is an absolute pleasure because he's just happy. You give him a cardboard box, best present ever. You turn and look at him, best reaction ever. So he's always just happy to see you, to be awake. Now our next sea lion that's going to join us is actually the middle child of the three. His name is Jack, and Jack is 16. Now again, we are going to be working him nice and close to the glass. So if you do have any little ones, please do keep them back from the glass. Anyone banging on it does really distract our sea lions, and they do get quite a fright if there's any noise. So if you do have any kids over that far side, keep them back from the glass for me. Now Jack is the laziest sea lion in the entire world. I love him with all my heart, but he puts in about a 3 out of 10 every single day. And that is because Jack understands training a little bit too well. He knows regardless of what he does during a training session, he gets his entire pot of fish. His feelings this early in a show, so pick up your hands, give him a wave. Hi Jack! Now it is that exact noise you will have to make or Jack's just not going to be happy. So we're going to have a practice on 3. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3! I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I trained you to do that and I didn't even offer you a reward. Now, you can also clap and cheer, that works just as well. Just like this. You want a second jump? You don't say good, you just wait for him to touch it again. And we're going to go for one more jump and we can all give him a cheer. Are you ready? With them. So you'll see Megan doing all kinds of different things with her hands. She's not just practicing the Macarena, she is learning. But Jack does have a choice, because regardless of whether he joins in with this, he gets that entire pot of fish. And believe me, when Jack doesn't want to do something, he is not subtle. What he does is he closes his eyes and burps in your face. That is his way of saying not feeling up to it, and he still gets all of that fish, gets to relax. Now Jack is always learning new things. He's never ever gonna. Amazing, the crowd will go wild, or Jack will belly flop. Either way, he is trying his absolute hardest, so we're going to give him a cheer, whatever happens. So here he goes, he's running, and Jack will go into a very impressive flop. Are you ready, my friend? It's interesting. It's like he kind of bounced off the glass. Jack, is that what you were going for, yeah? Is that what? Yeah, cool, good for you. Now the CINs do interpret stuff different ways as well. Sometimes you start training one thing and then something else happens. And I quite like that about it. You're never bored at work training sessions. Sometimes they'll just do it wrong, but only Callum here. Callum likes one thing more than fish, and that is an audience, because Callum has a noise that he really enjoys more than anything. Callum, what is that noise? That's the one, yeah. Believe me, we didn't quite realise how much Callum loved an audience until the COVID lockdowns, where suddenly we were here working and there were no people here. He was fine for the first couple of weeks, but Callum, you got a bit grumpy and quite lazy because no one was cheering. Yeah, you did. Now, the thing with our training is you see them doing all of this really cool stuff, but I would say most people tend to have the wrong idea. But actually, we train them every single day of the year, whether you guys are here or not. Christmas Day, birthdays, global pandemics. You know, when it snows and the whole of England shuts down, Megan's got to put on her wellies and get to work. And the reason we do it is to check Callum is healthy. Now, although he looks really cute and cuddly sitting there, Callum weighs currently 150 kilograms. He's a big boy. He's got teeth like a lion or a tiger, and he could be incredibly dangerous if he wanted to be. But because of all this training, we can check him over from head to toe, and all we have to do is ask. So we can have a look at his flippers, look at that. Or we can look at his eyes, his mouth, his ears, his bottom, whatever we want, all while he is awake and participating. And like I said, if they don't want to do it, they just completely ignore us. Now what we're preparing for is if Callum is ever unwell, it means he's trained for the vets to have a look at him for any kind of treatment that he would require. The trickiest part when working with a CIN though, is they're a bit more flexible than a human. So we have a collarbone, Megan. You have a collarbone, I'd imagine. So you can turn your head sort of left to right. You can go up and down. Callum doesn't have a collarbone. So he can actually whip his head all the way back to his butt. So you do have to be quite careful when you're down that far end when working with him. Health checks are the most important reason for training them. But a lot of things that you see in our show you won't even entirely realise are a health check. For example, if we get Callum down spinning around on the floor, people assume that he's dancing. It's quite a human thing to think of. But what we're doing is we are checking his mobility. We're making sure he's putting weight on all of his flippers. We're checking he's moving correctly. And it's a really good way to look over his body for cuts and scratches without having to bother him. There are lots of different things that we do. Jumps, spins are all kind of exercises as well. We want to exercise our CIN's bodies, but also their minds. Like I said with Jack, these are really intelligent animals, so we've got to get them thinking as much as we possibly can. So we're going to play a game with Callum today that he loves, but it does come with a warning. Callum loves the basketball. In a moment, we're going to throw it into the water. But a word of caution, if you have foolishly sat in the first 2 or 3 rows, Callum can and very, very occasionally will throw a basketball at your face. If that happens, knock it out of the way. Please don't use your children as a shield. There's a reason I now have to do this announcement. Woo. So although, again, to us humans, it looks like Callum's just having a bit of a kick around, a bit of fun with a basketball. But this is very specifically designed to work out various parts of his body. So what he's doing while he's in the water is jumping in and out. Now that is a motion called porpoising. It's something he naturally does to take a breath, but it's also an excellent way to work out his chest muscles and his flippers. And he goes off stage left and sees where he can find out. Now the reason behind the ball is to work out his whiskers. CINs have got 76 whiskers on their face, and they use them kind of like a second pair of eyes. So Callum can feel vibrations given off by the world around him, and it means that even if he was to be completely blind, he would still be able to navigate his world, and a blind sea lion can still hunt and catch fish, even though they don't have that eyesight. So the basketball, thank goodness I can improv about whiskers, eh? The basketball is here to make sure that we work out Callum's whiskers. The way he would normally do it is by hunting for his own fish. But here in the UK, it is illegal for us to give the sea lions live fish because it would not be fair on the fish. So games like this are a really good way to work out Callum's whiskers. Callum, you do have to take it back to Megan at some point. There we go, we got it! Now we do have one final way to work out his whiskers. Now Callum's been a little bit cheeky with this one recently, because behind Megan there is a hula hoop. Now we use the hoop to work on his eyesight and his whiskers, as well as his coordination. Sea lions can be quite clumsy. Now there's a really easy way to tell if Callum's whiskers are working. If Megan remains dry, we're doing great. If she falls headfirst into the water, firstly, we get a great photo, but secondly, we might have to call the vet to check Callum. Can he do it? Oh my goodness. Now Megan, I'm not going to lie, Callum did really well there, and I think you were the chicken. Callum, what do you want to say to Megan? Did she not believe in you? He says, have a little faith, I'm perfectly fine. Did you not want to go swimming? You not got a change of underwear? I understand. Now Callum, thankfully, I've got my fill of laughing at you both, so we're going to let you go off and you can have your dinner as well, but everyone give Callum one last cheer to say well done. Now, if you have any questions at all about our sea lions,